My name is James. I'm 68 years old. I live in Manchester, and I'm still learning. For most of my life, I followed the rules. Worked, paid bills, waited. I called that living. But now I see I wasn't really awake. I was busy surviving, not truly alive inside. I didn't lose everything. No tragedy, no drama. Just one quiet question. Is this all there is? That question stayed with me, followed me for months, until one morning I decided to answer it. I wrote down 10 lessons from failure, love, regret. Not from books, but from real life. You don't need to agree. I'm not here to preach. I just want truth. The kind that hurts first. I'll count down now. From 10 to 1. Each one a memory. Each one a mirror. If one lesson helps, then this is worth it. Because time is short. And silence teaches nothing. Let's begin together. 10 lessons. 1 life. Mine may be yours too. Now, let's start living. I never liked mornings. They felt cold, pointless. I stayed in bed, even with eyes open. But that changed suddenly. One quiet winter morning, I woke up early without alarm, without noise. The house was still. No messages, no traffic. Just me and silence. It felt almost sacred. I made coffee slowly, watched steam in sunlight. No rush, no pressure, only peace, only space. That moment changed something. It felt like control. The day was mine, not someone else's schedule. Since then, I rise early. Before the noise comes, before doubts return, before I forget myself. Some days are heavy, rainy, sad, or slow. But I still rise, because I choose to. Waking early is hard, but regret feels worse. Time won't wait forever. Use the quiet hours. You don't need magic, just 10 more minutes. Open your eyes. Stand up for yourself. That's what I learned. Start before the world, even on bad days, especially on bad days. At 55, I stopped. No walks, no stretching, just work, TV, sleep. I called it rest, but rest became pain. My back ached constantly. My legs felt heavy, even my mind slowed. The doctor said, move. Just that. Nothing complex. Walk every single day. No excuses, no delay. I started with steps. Just 5 minutes daily, then 10, then more. My body began listening. But here's the surprise. My thoughts changed too. Ideas flowed again. My mood lifted slowly. It wasn't about weight. It was about rhythm, breath, pace, movement, presence. I felt alive again. Now I walk daily, rain or sun always. Not to look good, but to feel clear. You don't need gym. Just shoes and space, 5 minutes. Repeat tomorrow. That's how it grows. Your body holds truth. It speaks when ignored, and it begs gently. Please move. I need this. Listen while you can. Stretch while it's easy, because stillness is slow death, and movement is life. My father was quiet. Strong hands, few words. I copied that style, until it hurt me. We never said much. Not I love you, not I'm proud, nothing. Just silence between days. One morning, he fell. A heart attack, sudden, in the hospital, unconscious. I sat there shaking. So many words trapped, years of unspoken truth. Too late to speak, too late to hear. I held his hand, whispered like a child, "I love you, Dad." But he didn't answer. He died that night. No goodbye, no reply. Only my silent regret. Heavy, sharp, forever mine. Since that day, I speak. To friends, to strangers, to myself, even God. No more saving words. We think we have time. But silence steals moments. One delay, one pause, and it's gone forever. Say what you feel, even if voice shakes, even if they don't. It frees your soul. Words don't fix everything. But silence fixes nothing. Speak now, not later, before it's too late. I once had a dream to open a cafe, small, warm, full books, music, tea, and peace. I planned for years, wrote ideas, saved money, but always found excuses. Next year, I'd say. Kids were still young. Work was too busy. Then my wife fell. Her health changed everything. The dream stayed closed. Buried under real life. I still passed cafes, heart heavy with maybe. At 62, I tried. Rented a tiny space, painted walls with hope, opened for just weekends. It was beautiful. Briefly. Then bills came fast. Customers were few. I had waited too long. I don't regret trying. I regret waiting so much. I regret my fear and my perfect timing. There's no right moment, only now and not. The world keeps spinning while you hesitate quietly. Whatever your dream is, it won't beg forever. You must begin anyway, even if imperfect, scared. Delay is expensive, friend. Don't pay with life. Start small. Start now, while it still matters. At 61, I froze. In front of strangers, in a cafe abroad, I couldn't say hello. They spoke in English. I smiled, nodded, guessed. Felt like a child, but older and embarrassed. That night, I decided, enough of that shame. I opened a book. A is for apple. It felt ridiculous, honestly. Learning like a boy. One word, two words. But something woke inside. Each sentence built confidence. Each mistake taught humility. I was alive again, curious, unsure, excited, growing. I studied every morning. Just 10 minutes daily. Then I spoke more. Then listened more carefully. After one full year, I ordered coffee abroad, this time in English. And they understood me. Learning changed my rhythm, not just my language. It changed how I think. It changed how I age. We stop learning too early. We say, "I'm too old." But that's a lie. And lies steal life. Learn something new today. A word, a skill, anything that sparks growth. It keeps you human. My thoughts were noisy, always spinning, never quiet. Regrets, worries, old stories, all shouting at once. Talking didn't help much. I didn't like therapy, so I tried something simple. I picked up a pen. First page felt strange. Just messy little thoughts. No plan, no grammar, just feelings on paper. I wrote every morning. 5 minutes, sometimes 10. What I feared most. What I truly wanted. The pages stayed private, but they listened deeply and gave me space to hear myself clearly. Some days I cried, others I just smiled. Some entries were boring, but all were honest. It wasn't a diary. It was a mirror, a way to see what words were hiding. I wrote before meetings, before arguments or decisions, and the pen calmed what my voice couldn't. You don't need talent. You need honesty only. The paper can take what your mind avoids. Write what you think. Not for others, but for your peace. It truly works. I once opened a store, used my savings proudly, sold tools and hardware. Small but full hope. For 6 months, nothing. Few clients, high bills. I smiled outside daily, but cried every night. Then came a flood. It ruined half my stock. Insurance didn't cover damage. I felt completely broken. I closed the doors, returned keys, locked dreams. Failure echoed in silence. Heavy, sharp, personal, unforgettable. People said, "Told you." Some even laughed quietly. But no one saw the courage it took. I stayed silent months, ashamed of the loss. But one morning, walking, I saw someone struggling too. We talked. He listened. I shared everything honestly. He said, "You tried." That changed something inside. Trying isn't weakness. Failing isn't the end. It's the middle chapter, not your whole book. Since then, I've risked. Smaller steps, better plans, but always kept going. That's what matters most. Fall, cry, pause, reflect. But never stay down, because moving again means you're still writing life. I've hurt good people, not by hate, by fear. Pushed them far away, then missed them deeply. I judged too fast, spoke without thinking twice, then regretted in silence. But pride held me. Years passed without fixing. Friendships faded like smoke, and I blamed myself. Quietly, every single day, I said sorry once, but never felt clean, because I didn't forgive the man in mirror. One night I wrote, "All your mistakes happened, but you stayed human. You're still trying, James." I cried while writing. Then something felt lighter, as if guilt softened, as if time reopened. I still carry memories, but not as punishment. They became reminders only of who I became. You can't heal others while hating your past. You can't grow fully while hiding your shame. So speak to yourself, gently, kindly, with truth. Say, "I forgive me." Say it until believed. That's when I changed. Not after being forgiven, but when I forgave the worst version of me. I loved with conditions, without knowing it fully. Gave to receive back. Helped to feel needed. I expected messages returned. Appreciation, smiles, attention, thanks. When none came, anger grew, and love turned bitter. Then I met Maria. She was different, quiet. Didn't need much praise, but gave with grace. One day I asked, "Why do you give so much so quietly?" She just smiled softly. "Love isn't a trade," she said. "It's freedom. I give because I can, not because I must." That broke my logic. I saw my pride, my hidden selfish parts. Love became lighter then. I called old friends, wrote letters, gave gifts. No expectations anymore. Only clean, simple giving. Some gave nothing back. Others cried in joy. But I stayed free. and peace stayed longer. Love is not control, not a contract signed. It's an offering, pure, personal, and often one way. If you can love without needing anything back, then you've already won, and others will feel it. I used to waste time, scrolling, waiting, doubting, complaining. Years passed without notice, busy but not present. I missed birthdays, sunsets, old friends, quiet mornings, all chasing someday soon that never really came. Then my brother died. No warning, no goodbye. Just one call. He's gone. And I sat frozen. He was younger, stronger. He had more plans. But time doesn't care who deserves one more day. I looked at my hands. Still warm, still breathing, and I finally asked, what will I protect now? Not money, not status, not opinions or comfort. Just this, my hours, my precious, invisible hours. Now I say no. Now I choose peace. I slow down often, and I show up, because time is truth. It tells who we are, what we value most, and what we lose. So treat it like gold, or like your last breath. Because it truly is. Your time is everything. What part of James's story touched you the most? Have you ever learned something the hard way? What advice would you give to others today? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your wisdom too. If this story made you reflect, please like it, share it with someone you care about, and don't forget to subscribe for more emotional stories told in slow, simple English, made just for you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And always remember, it's never too late to change.